Because a lot of times when like some of our kids ask me to go on a date, they actually want to talk about things going on in their life. They want a chance to express to me what's happening, whether, something in life is challenging them. Our quote unquote date days really just turn into quality conversations. Hello everyone, we are Greg and Jacquie Francis, and welcome to High Performance Parenting, where our passionate goal is to encourage you to raise champion children in a crazy world. Every week, we will bring you multiple episodes from our extensive experience of raising our six happy, healthy, successful, godly kids who are confidently equipped to win big in life.
We deeply believe that any parent who is provided with the right knowledge and continual support can raise amazing kids. And when they do, all of our futures get better. If raising up future generations of absolute champions matters to you as much as it does to us, here's how you can contribute. Like and share this podcast with everyone you know. And together, let's embrace this journey of raising champion kids in a crazy world.
Hey guys, welcome back to our podcast. Super excited to chat with you guys today.
Welcome.
And we thought today we would answer some questions. If you guys don't know, you can contact us. And in our description, we will put our Facebook and our Instagram. And that way you can just send us a message with any questions. But we've been getting some questions lately now that we've been kind of chatting with everybody, moving along here, from some parents that have some things going on in their life and in their family life, and they want to know our perspective on it, I guess. So
before we get there, I have a question for you. What's the best kind of music to listen to when fishing?
I don't know.
Something catchy.
Oh, you had to use that.
Did you hear my button?
Yeah, I heard your button. Greg found some new, buttons on our podcast equipment here, and he's trying to find ways to use it. So now you're finding dad jokes?
All right. How did the pirate get his ship for so cheap?
I don't know.
You got to participate.
I don't know where we're going. This is new to me. What is this?
It was on sale.
Okay, so you prepared all morning for this, didn't you? We have questions, that's
Why do dads take an extra pair of socks when they play golf?
Because they're stinky.
In case they get a hole in one. All right, we can get serious.
Oh, man, you're rolling today. Those dad jokes are good. I like that.
Yep.
Oh, man. Well, and this whole morning I thought you were preparing for today. Come
I
to find
was.
out.
It took me a while to find those.
How long?
I don't know, a few minutes.
So not that long, you joker.
Not really.
Oh, you're not funny.
All right, what's the first question?
Okay, so the first question we're going to go over, I don't remember. What was the first question now?
Who didn't prepare?
You. You're too busy.
I have the first question. I'll help you out.
Okay, you go ahead.
Number one question. Do you spend one-on-one time with your kids, and how?
Oh, that's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
With the size family we have, and actually, what's neat is, I think pretty soon we might talk about the different personalities, because that would help a lot for everybody to kind of understand how we spend time as a family and how we spend time with our kids individually. But the answer to the question is yes, we do. We do spend time individually with our children, and then we do, of course, as a group. And then we do sometimes in maybe one or two at a time, depending on what's going on and what we have going on. One thing that we started, I don't know how many years ago now, is different dates with Dad and I. So sometimes the girls will get dressed up and they go for a special date with you. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I'll take them for a date that's a little different, or I'll take Drusy for a date. And date days are really special to us in our family. That's something we kind of brought in, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I know I started doing daddy-daughter dates, like an official one. The first one was a big one, right?
And they were like 5 or 6.
It was when they turned 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we decided.
Mm-hmm.
And, where you really get the car cleaned up and, we let our daughters get all dialed up. You help them get ready. Like, mom was helping teaching them how to get ready for a proper date. And I'm opening doors for them, and I'm taking them some restaurant, and I dressed up in a tie and everything else, and that was fun. And we memorialized it. I'm so glad we have videos of each one and everything.
Yeah.
It's really, really neat and fun thing to look back on.
Yeah, you have another one coming up in another year.
I know, yeah, and then along the way, for us, we have done it in different ways depending on what's going on in our life. I mean, we've had a lot of different changes in the last handful of years with first, of course, we were living in Wisconsin, And then we decided to build the Florida home. And that was like a couple year process of just building it and then moving down there and that whole thing. And then we're in a community down there. So it's different than when we were in Wisconsin. So date days kind of transitioned a little bit that way, where I would do like in the community date days with some of the kids. And
yeah, we're actually very flexible on date days. So when we say date days or anything like that, they're not like high stressful, like they need to take, 8 hours. And really what we mean by it is the opportunity to go to a special place doing something. And it doesn't, like I said, have to be anything super crazy. It just is the one-on-one individual get to enjoy. So when Greg sometimes takes the kids for dates in Florida, you'll maybe go to the pool for a couple hours with just them and grab like a smoothie afterwards or something like that. Or maybe teach some of the older girls how to drive the golf cart.
Yeah.
And do something special like that.
Or a bike ride.
Or a bike ride. And it's really just complete concentration on that child. And they call it dates because it's so personal and it's so one-on-one. And that's one thing we do. Same thing with Drew's. Many times I'll go for either a bike ride with him or we'll go swimming together. Or maybe sometimes it's as simple as running errands, but then also stopping by and doing something he likes to enjoy. Whatever, maybe stopping at an arcade and letting him play for a little bit. Or, having some special time going to the park and playing a sport with him or something like that.
Yeah, this is why, we spent time in previous podcasts about some of the parenting musts because, we design a lot of these dates around knowing their love languages individually and also knowing their personality types, which we'll discuss soon.
Yeah, we'll come up with that
soon. And once you have those, and then it kind of guides you on what you need to do for each kid to both fill their love tank and somewhat cater to just who they are, with their personality types.
Yeah, and we don't get hung up with it having to be like every 2 weeks or anything like that. Really it's strong communication with our kids, knowing that they need some one-on-one time with either dad or mom, depending on what's going on. And sometimes it's even, I'll know something going on or Greg will know something going on and I'll be like, you need to take some time soon for so-and-so. You need to go take some time or I feel like I need to go spend some time with somebody. So can you be available to take care of the other kids? Because I want to spend this time.
Yeah, it's this constant dance. I bet a lot of people listening can relate to this. It's this dance between mom and dad guilt. Are we doing enough? Going on enough these little dates? Totally. And also, like, we have our life we have to live to, do business and make money and, serve other people in different ways, plus make time for ourselves.
Yeah, go on our own dates.
Yeah, if you're involved in a church, you have church involvement stuff. And, we tend to have a pretty full schedule because it's just who we are. But you can, I don't know, I guess probably the best way to answer this would be, yes, you should spend some individual time. The reality is your kids want to spend time with you. They want to get to know you. They want to hang out with you, and a parent out there, I could see maybe you believe that or not, because maybe your parent didn't present that to you.
Right.
Maybe you don't even understand why necessarily, but maybe that's how you felt. And so you might assume, or you listen to too much dumb TV, to be honest with you, where they're always making it sound like kids don't like parents or they're just rude or they're just whatever. It's crazy. When we watch movies and I see such levels of disrespect taught from movies, and then I think you assume that that's how your kids are, but it's not really true. Kids love being with their mom and dad. They love individual time. They love together time. And for each of our kids, the personalities being so different, like, and even the love languages, like we know that Bella's love language is quality time. And so a date with her, or a date day, quote unquote, is going to be one-on-one time. But then we have, other kids that maybe they want to be one-on-one. Maybe they just be like, oh, I don't care if 2 other kids come with me. I just want to go hang out with you. I want to go do an adventure with you. They're a little more sanguine and they just want to, be able to just kind of play more. So.
And I think a lot of times it just depends on what's going on in life too. Because a lot of times when like some of our kids ask me to go on a date, they actually want to talk about things going on in their life.
Yeah.
They want a chance to express to me what's happening, whether, something in life is challenging them, or if one of their siblings and them are not really seeing eye to eye, or if they're upset with something dad or I did, or if they're a little nervous about something. Many times our quote unquote date days really just turn into quality conversations where I get to hear more of the heart of our kids and then have a chance to come back and be like, I'm really proud of you for talking to me about that. Like yeah, let's all chat about that. I can understand that. And even if I don't always understand their side, it gives me a perspective of what they're thinking. And therefore, I can have that conversation with them. I mean, we all know it's not really about the amount of time. It's the kind of time that we have with the quality of it together.
Yeah, you bring up such a good point because, thinking about it, right now, our kids are 14 down to 4. And
Right.
when we would make time for quality time with them individually or whatever, when they are 4, 5, 6 years old, that's a whole different ballgame than now when they're 14.
Right, absolutely.
Back then it was like, all right, let's go, as long as there was ice cream involved at some point, it was a
Right.
huge success.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it
and
didn't matter.
it was probably almost a little bit more for us to go spend some individual time than even them. Now when you go or when we go, I mean, it's like legit conversations.
Yes.
Or, like today, I mean, I went and played basketball, after we had some coaching calls this morning, and you were like, you want to take Drews? And I'm like, yeah, I don't mind. I'm just going to play ball and coming back. I wasn't doing anything else afterwards. And so, we're just in the car. I got some good praise and worship on. We're just kind of jamming, windows down, but I know he's a physical touch kid, so I always put my hand on his head or maybe the back of his neck, kind of just rubbing his neck while we're going. He's just grinning. He just smiles. He's got I got my arm out the window in the big Fran van, so he's got his arm out the window on the other side.
That's
I just
cool.
watch him doing his thing. And we went and played, and in between games while I was playing with the adults, I played with him a little bit, and then we're coming home, and I just felt kind of led to pray. I don't know, I just did. So I just started praying. And he's got his hands in there, and he's praying, and we're praying over the city here. We're praying over our pastors. We're praying over everything. And then I just asked him, I said, so do you know how to pray over like this city? Do you know how to pray over our church? And he starts doing it.
Yeah.
And it was a good thing because we had like 5 minutes where I was teaching him about prayer. And I was teaching him how, what we do is we're going to like stand on what God's word says. Really what prayer is, it's basically personalizing what's already written. We already know what God's will
Right,
is. It's everything
totally.
he wrote in his word. And so now it's just like personalizing it and declaring it. But it was fun to have that extra 5 minutes out of, 2 hours we were gone where we were just talking about prayer. He's 11 years old and he's learning how to become a prayer warrior already. So, I don't know if you'd call that a date day, call it a one-on-one time together.
Yeah,
It wasn't
boy
even
time.
really planned. But, you and I guess the biggest thing is it depends also on your size of your family. With us with 6 kids, we have to be pretty intentional, but you and I, we calendar plan every week, and
I think that's a lot of it,
50%
though.
of our calendar planning is family or more, right?
Well, and I think that's the whole thing again, is that I think everybody wants to be seen, even our children. Obviously, we have 6 children. Some people, don't have as many or maybe have more, and I think it's all awesome. But what I think is cool is realizing that everybody needs a little individual time. Everybody does. Like Greg needs it with me and I need it with him. Our children need it with us, individually. There needs to be a time where they can truly feel like they can be heard, seen, and be the attention, right? And not in a selfish way, but in a I want to be seen way. And that also gives us chances to talk to them individually. And those individual conversations now that we have are so fun because they really draw us closer to each other. They really open up for conversations. And then we have a 4-year-old who literally gets so much quality time. She doesn't even know, if I have to run anywhere just for a quick errand, she's like, can I go? Can I go? Can I go? And I think she just like enjoys being in the car. It's not even about a conversation, But I will tell you also in those small moments when it's just her and me, I get a chance to hear her sweet voice when she's singing a praise and worship song. Or I get to hear, she'll tell me all the time, you know what I love about life, Mom? And she'll tell me something. And I'm like, wow. Or whenever we hear an ambulance, we'll stop and we'll pray. And now she just, Mom, I just heard the ambulance. I'm going to pray. Hold on. You know what I mean? It's like those moments where it's like we have one kind of moment with 14-year-olds all the way down to 4-year-olds. And we think it's special. On the flip side, our family loves being together too. Like that's the cool thing about our families, that we've really had this this feeling in our heart that we always want to be a tight, unified family. Mm-hmm. And so with that, we work hard for that. So that's how we end up having team meetings as a family. That's how we end up having we call them dance parties at the end of the night, whatever that looks like. Sometimes it's singing and dancing. Sometimes we're playing cards. Sometimes we're just outside talking together, whatever it may be. Sometimes they're going around the cul-de-sac with their, roller skates and stuff like that. But we call it dance party time in our family. And it's when I stop doing work for the day, you stop doing work for the day, and it's now devoted to a couple hours of us all just being together. And we love those kind of things too, where we don't nothing's going on necessarily where we need to go individual with anybody. And so I think it's a combination of both. I mean, the other night I was out with a couple of kids, and so half of us were gone and half of you guys were home, remember? And I mean, of course we get calls like, when you coming home? Where you at? What are you doing? Because everybody is so used to us being together in the evening that they also want us to be together, and they miss when we're not together.
Yeah, one thing that, as you know, we do men's events, right? A couple times a year. And basically it's part of our Redwood concept, where people that didn't grow up with a strong root system in different categories, whether it's family or, whether it's marriage or parenting or finances or spiritual growth, whatever.
Yeah.
The way that you can grow tall, even though you don't have a deep root system, is you can lock your roots with other people, with a community of redwoods, people that are further along than you. It's all about being able to recognize that just because you didn't grow up with something doesn't mean it can't start with you now. You're just going to have to lean on some other people pretty heavily in community that are where you want to be. And so in our Man Maker events that we do, one thing that comes up, when vulnerability starts happening, because it's a pretty safe place. We make it a safe place because of the culture that we have. You know what I mean? We play a lot, we beat each other up, then we kind of open up, and we talk about real stuff. But it's always solution focused, not victim focused, not, whatever. One thing that comes up with guys a lot is that they want to spend more time with their kids, but they don't know how. It comes up all the time, all the time. And I think it's just because probably somebody didn't spend time with them. And guys are taught, even without it being direct, just indirectly, guys are kind of taught to isolate when they're scared. And so when they're afraid of something, they don't usually seek out, how to really learn an area, a category, until somebody shows up. But the reality is every man's journey has to do with initiation. It has to. And so there's a lot of uninitiated men out there, and because they don't know how to be comfortable with something, they don't know what to do with their kids. And so I guess the thing you have to do is just say, okay, how do I start this process though?
Right.
How do I do it? I get it. I got to grow and change. I got things that didn't work out perfect for me, but I want to change it for me down. So I got to start,
and got to start somewhere.
If I was going to really fully answer this question, I don't even know who sent it in, but, I would say you should try. You know what I mean? Don't worry about it being perfect. Just build your kids up. Have some fun. Don't overthink it too. Don't feel like you have to, go rent a limousine and do something, go spend $500 on dinner for it to be a successful, one-on-one time. Like, it really is, like you were saying, it's the little stuff. It's just a matter of, will you do it consistently? And that doesn't mean it has to be like once a week, depending on your schedule.
No.
But I would just monitor it, It for sure should probably be, depending on what's going on in your life. I mean, probably the more often you can, the better, but you have to be also reasonable about it.
And you have to take the time for the individuals. I mean, especially in our family, the minute I say something like, oh, I'm going to, spend some time with, whoever, Abby right now, and spend some, two other kids are like, can I go? And I have to look at them nicely and be like, nope, this is Abby and my time.
Yeah.
We're going to go have some quality time together.
That's
You'll
right.
be next.
And you don't allow yourself to feel guilty.
You don't. And I go and I spend that time with Abby, and you should see her smile when she knows, like, oh, mom even wants to spend it with me. She said no to the others.
Right.
Not because I'm rejecting anybody or anything like that, but because this was Abby's time.
Yeah.
And then that's when the heartstrings connect more. And I think you're so right, even at your Man Maker events, even when I get to go and I get to speak at it, or I get to hear the hearts from the guys, every single time. The truth is they want to be connected to their wives. They want to be connected to their children. Sure. I mean, we've talked about it too many times, how Satan's, his whole game in life is to separate us all, not only from your wife, but also from your children.
Yeah.
And so if they feel that, they already feel deflated. They already feel like they're doing something wrong. They already feel rejected, whatever the case may be. And to know that there are opportunities out there for us to help each other. You know what I mean? Like, we can help each other have a tight family.
Yeah, I've had guys say, things like, well, if I take my 13-year-old son somewhere, he just wants to be on his phone the whole time. And I always say, well, leave the dumb phone at home. You know what I mean? Like, the kid doesn't actually want to be. But you know what? The kid has never been taught how to actually hang out with you either.
Right.
So leave the phone at home. Well, if he's got a little bit of an attitude or whatever, start teaching them honor.
Right.
This is where your one-on-one time starts.
Which is a great place to start. Like, take it as an opportunity for this,
with Manmaker, and it applies to young guys, either young boys, whatever. I've never, as much as I've seen people, passive people, angry people going through stuff, right? I've never met one man ever that doesn't want to become a great man. I've never met one. Like, they all have a desire. It's in us, but you're going to have to start trying.
Right.
And so you take these little opportunities to start doing something, just one-on-one and building things in. And, that's a whole nother probably topic, but
yeah, we'll get down that topic because I know that not only guys go through that, but women do too.
Sure.
Maybe we weren't taught, or maybe you have that mom guilt like you talked about, which is a real thing, or maybe you just feel like you're not able or capable to do what you really want to do. So that's a great idea. We'll hit on that another time, but let's go on. I know we have more to talk about on the next episode.
Okay. Hey everyone, thanks for listening and thanks for your love and support. We hope that today's episode added tremendous value to you and your family. It would mean so much to us if you would partner with us on our mission of helping parents around the globe raise champion children in this crazy world.
To do so, simply take a moment to like and share this podcast with everyone in your network. And we have great news. You get more of us. You can expect new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning. So be sure to consistently tune in with us and enjoy our show. See you next time.